Another Friday, which means it's Shoot the Shit with DSP. I'm DSP, and I'm excited to be here. So let's get some of our good mornings here. We've got Steve Ellers in the house. Good morning, Steve. Good to have you here. Hope things are wonderful weather and fires aren't coming your way. Not fun to see all the fires that are happening this summer. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So my heart goes out to all you at the Washington Way with fires going on. Not fun. Not fun to be a family, not to be be a restaurant operator and go through those scares. So unfortunately, this happens, and we're here for you. We've got Mary DeLeon is in the house. Good morning to you, Mary. Hope things are going well. I keep thinking about it, the cost of the homes in Florida. I mean, isn't it a wash from your house where you are here? I swear you're going to Florida. It's going to happen. We got Bob in the house. Bob is in the house. Mastermind. What's going on? Good morning, believers. Good morning to you, my friend. Hope you are doing well. Gary Rosenberg's in the house. What's up, Gary? Gary, yes, I did get your email. I have been chasing my tail. I've been traveling and racing, and I'm going to get back to you. I put you aside for a second. Got a lot of crazy shit going on right now, and but I will get back to you. I did get your email. Thank you for the reminder. Damn it, I suck sometimes. I've got so much going on. You'll notice, those of you who want to go to davidscottpeters.com right now, this morning we launched a brand new website. We have switched all of our members into a new coaching center, new software in the back end that's going to make coaching much better. It's going to allow us to have accountability, stream the conversations, videos, all the things we do with a member, that it's kind of in chronological order, and you can search what we talked about and see what our group coaching calls were, what our one-on-one calls were, what your to-dos were, have notifications. It's pretty powerful. But again, on the members, or that's the member site, but the regular website did our very best to, show people what we actually do and go through our work transfer framework on there, what separates us from all the other coaches out there. For those of you who've been following me for a long time, know that I was the original restaurant coach. Like, it was me and restaurantowner.com. That was it. And for years and years and years, I enjoyed being the guy. And now if you go on your Instagram feed, your YouTube feed, heck, TikTok, anywhere, you're getting bombarded with every Tom, Dick, and Harry who's a restaurant coach. I'm going to tell you right now, there's some good people out there. Like, I got nothing negative to say about them. My challenge is they have been, over the years, just absolutely stealing my content, and more importantly, stealing my ads, what I do, my messaging. And so now I don't stick out anymore. I'm just one of the herd. And so in order to stick out, we really dove deep into what we do, what makes us different. And I think you're going to see that on my new website. You go to davidscottpeters.com, you're going to see the messaging has completely changed to really focus on what we do when it comes to providing you restaurant prosperity, freedom for your restaurant, the financial freedom you deserve, and more importantly, clarity under pressure. How we get our managers to do the work, because that's ultimately it. You're going to see, as I'm going to talk about today in the final edits of my book before it goes to an actual editor. And I can tell you this, that what I've been calling systems for so many years are not necessarily systems, they're tools. The system is the change in behavior. It's what the behavior the system creates. And we're so excited to have that clarity on our side, to be able to communicate that and help you get things done. And that's our work transfer framework. And if you want to have an idea of what I'm talking about, go to my homepage, scroll down to the bottom, and you're going to see the 7 steps to our work transfer framework and how we operate, how we help you have freedom. And again, some people misunderstand me, freedom. I'm not trying to kick you out of your restaurant. I'm trying to fire you as a manager, trying to fire you as a line cook, as a host, as an expo. But you're a restaurant owner. I don't care if you go there 6-7 days a week, but you're not required to be there. That restaurant operates your way when you're there and when you're not there. Let's see here. Gary's letting me off the hook. Thank you, Gary. I don't mean to put you off. That was not my idea behind everything. Just happened that way. Now, why did Mike's comment? There it is. It came up slow here. Mike is in the house. What's going on, Mike? Good morning, DSP, Steve, Mary, and everyone else. Good morning to you, my friend. Hope things are going well. Hope your menu change is going well. We're going to get started here in just a second. Make sure, as you see, people are chatting with me. You're logged into your Google account or your YouTube account. They're synonymously the same thing. So you can participate, it's easy for me to say, in the chat, because this Shoot the Shit Fridays are for you to have access to me, where I'm going to teach, motivate, get you excitable, and then answer your questions. So we're going to get ourselves all set up here, and we're going to get started. Welcome to Shoot the Shit with DSP. SDS with DSP happens every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, live on YouTube, travel schedule permitting. We're going to invest about 30 minutes out of your day to get pumped about the upcoming weekend, get excited about crushing your goals, and finding the motivation to be the best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions. I'm Dave Scott Peters, creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula, and your coach. And again, as a last minute reminder, log into your Google account, your YouTube account. They're the same thing, so you can participate in the chat. Let's get started, shall we? Now, I've been editing my new book, and I'm really thrilled with it. I can tell you that it is the second step to the Restaurant Prosperity Formula that taught you the importance of systems, leadership, training, accountability, taking action, all the things that go into creating freedom of your restaurant, the financial freedom you deserve. But all too often, it can be overwhelming to a reader. Whether you're a member, whether you're just reading the book, whether you've been to a seminar or workshop with me, whether you follow my content online, it can become overwhelming because you learn very quickly you've got to do things on your own. You can't do everything on your own, right? So we need managers. And one of our biggest challenges is, how do we get managers to do things we want them to do? And that's what this book is, Protecting the Standard. It is revolutionary on what we've put together to make it even easier for our members and for you to be able to ensure that the tools you put in place become systems that they get truly installed. And more importantly, your management team is protecting the standard. That's the next book that's coming out. And I'm going to tell you, as I'm editing the book, something really jumped off the page at me. Restaurant pros tell me all the time, my managers won't make decisions. They ask me everything. They won't take ownership. I have to solve every damn problem around here. And eventually, the manager ends up on the restaurant pros to-do list, your to-do list, all of their stuff. Scheduling issues become your problem. Customer complaints, your problem. Employee called out, your problem. Vendor screwed something up, your problem. Somebody wants to change a procedure. Guess what? Your problem. And after reading and editing this section of the book, I kept coming back to one uncomfortable question. What if your manager stopped thinking because you trained them to stop thinking? Ouch. But stay with me, because I'm not saying you hired stupid people. I'm not saying your managers are lazy. And I'm definitely not saying every management problem is somehow your fault. What I am saying is the behavior gets trained. And if somebody brings you a problem, you immediately give them the answer, they go execute the answer, and that happens over and over and over again, you have created a system, not the system you wanted. The system is, when there's a problem, go find David. Replace David with your name, right? You get it. Congratulations. You have become the restaurant's human Google. And eventually, your managers don't even bother thinking through the problem before they come to you. Why would they? You're faster. You have more experience. You already know what to do. And most of the time, you actually like being helpful. That's part of what makes this so dangerous. Because solving the problem feels productive. It feels like leadership. But sometimes solving the problem is exactly the opposite of leadership. Sometimes it's dependency disguised as leadership. Here's what I want you to understand today. If you want managers who think, you have to stop doing all the thinking for them. And that starts with changing what happens when they bring a problem. Instead of asking yourself, how do I fix this? I want you asking, how do I help my manager learn to fix this? Those are two completely different jobs. One keeps you trapped in operations. The other develops leaders. Let me give you the simplest place to start. When a manager comes to you and says, "Hey, what should I do about this?" Stop answering. Not forever. I'm not telling you to stare at them silently and like some restaurant Yoda. Ask them, "What do you think we should do?" That one question can completely change the relationship. And at first, they may hate it because they're used to getting the answer. They may say, "I don't know. That's why I'm asking you." Fine. Then your next question is, "If I weren't here, what would you do?" Now we're getting somewhere. Because I want you to hear their thought process. I don't necessarily care whether their answer is right. I care whether they're learning how to arrive in that answer. This is a critical distinction. A lot of restaurant pros want managers to make great decisions, but they have zero tolerance for managers making imperfect decisions while they learn. You can't have it both ways. Think about how somebody learns anything. You make a decision, you see the result, you adjust, you make another decision, you get better. Managers need the same repetition too. Every time you jump in with the answer, you steal one of those reps. And then 6 months later, you're furious because they still can't make decisions without you. Well, they haven't been practicing. You have. You've gotten incredibly good at making every decision in the restaurant. Fantastic. Except now you can't leave. That's the trap. And there's another piece of this. Your managers need boundaries. Empowering managers does not mean saying, "Do whatever you want." That is not empowerment. That's chaos. Good decision-making happens inside clarity, defined boundaries. So, your manager should know. Here's what you can decide on your own. Here's when I want you to communicate with me. Here's when you need approval. And here are the principles we use to make decisions around here. That last one matters because if your managers understand your standards, your systems, and your core values, they're much more likely to make the same kind of decisions you would make. That's the goal. I don't need you to clone yourself. We already got one of you running around. That's plenty. I need you to teach people how to think through the business. So when your managers bring you something, try walking them through 3 questions. Number 1, what happened? Give me the facts, not drama, not assumptions, not what everybody is saying in the kitchen. What actually happened? Number 2, what do you think we should do? Now I'm forcing you to think. And number 3, why? Why do you think that's the right decision? That third question is huge because now I can hear how you're reasoning. Maybe they give you the exact decision you would have made. Great. Tell them, go do it. Maybe they're close, but there's something, well, they haven't considered. Now you can coach them. You might say, "I like where you're going. What happens if we do that and the employee reacts this way? Or how does that decision affect labor?" Or maybe it's something like, does that line up with the policy we already have? You're not giving them the answer. You're helping them see what they missed. That's coaching. That's leadership development. And then there are times when their idea is completely wrong, like spectacularly wrong. The kind of answer where for half a second you wonder whether they ever actually worked in your restaurant. Okay, don't panic. That is coaching opportunity too. Ask questions. Help them see why the decision doesn't work. Then teach the principle behind the better decision. Because if all you say is, "No, do this," they learn the answer is to basically one problem. If you teach them how you evaluated the problem, they can use that kind of thinking on the next 50 problems. That's leverage. And restaurant pros, we need to talk about something else. Sometimes you're the reason managers keep bringing everything to you because you second guess them afterwards. Think about that one. You tell your manager, I want you to make decisions. So they make one. Then you walk in and say, why did you do that? Well, because I would have done it this, right? I would have done it this way. Okay. What did you just teach them? You taught them that they're responsible for making decisions as long as somehow magically they choose exactly what you would have chosen. That is not empowerment. That's a guessing game. And basically this, if the manager made a reasonable decision inside the authority you gave them, using the information they had at the time, and it simply wasn't the decision you would have made, you may need to let it stand. You can coach afterwards. You can say, here's another way I might think about it next time. But don't punish good judgment because it wasn't your judgment. Because eventually the manager says, screw it, I'll just ask David. Again, replace my name with your name, and boom, they're right back on your to-do list. This always means, this also means we have to separate mistakes from negligence. Managers are going to make mistakes. You made mistakes. I made mistakes. Anyone who's ever managed people has made decisions they wish they could take back. Mistakes are a part of development. Negligence is different. Ignoring a system they were trained on, different. Ignoring a clear policy, different conversation. Repeatedly making the same bad decision after coaching, now we have an accountability issue. But somebody making a judgment call, learning from it and improving, that's development. And if you refuse to allow that process, you're going to be the smartest person in your restaurant forever, which sounds great until you realize being the smartest person means everybody needs you. Every day, every shift, every problem. That is not freedom. Remember what we're trying to build here. A successful restaurant is not one where the restaurant pro is really, really good at putting out fires. It's one where fewer fires ever reach the restaurant pro in the first place. Systems handle some of them. Training handles some of them. Managers handle some of them. Accountability makes sure people actually do what they've been trained to do. That's the restaurant prosperity formula at work. Leadership, systems, training, accountability, taking action. And developing managers touches every one of those. Here's another habit I want you to watch this week. The drive-by question. You know this one. You're walking through the restaurant and somebody says, hey, what do you want me to do about Sarah's schedule? And without even breaking stride, you say, move Sarah to Tuesday and have Mike close Wednesday. You just made 4 management decisions in 7 seconds. You didn't mean it, right? You didn't mean anything by it. You were being efficient. But if you do that 20 times a day, you're teaching everyone around you. Don't solve problems. Catch the boss walking by. This week, start catching yourself. When somebody asks, what should I do? Try saying, tell me what you think. It's going to feel slower. At first, it is slower. Developing people is slower than doing everything yourself in the beginning. But eventually, the math flips. The manager starts solving 10 problems a week without you, then 20, then 30. And suddenly, you're not being interrupted all day long. You're not getting texts about every little issue. You're not walking into the restaurant already wondering what disaster is waiting for you. You've created capacity for them and for you. Now, let me give you your Monday action. I want you to pick one manager, not your whole management team, one. And for 1 full week, every time that manager brings you a problem, unless it's an emergency, you are not allowed to give them the answer until they answer this question. What do you think we should do? That's it. Keep track of it. Put a little tally mark on your phone if you need to. I want you to see how many times you normally solve problems without even realizing you're doing it. And when they give you their answer, follow with why. Make them explain their thinking. Then coach. Coach the thinking instead of simply replacing their decision with yours. Do that for 1 week, because here's what you're really testing. Are your managers incapable of thinking, or have you just stopped requiring them to? Those are very different problems. And restaurant pros, if you want freedom from your restaurant, you cannot remain the answer to every question. Your job is not to become indispensable. Your job is to build people, systems, and leaders that make you less necessary to the daily operations. That takes patience. It takes training. It takes accountability. And yes, occasionally, it takes shutting your mouth when you already know the answer, which for some of us may be the hardest leadership exercise of all. Go make your managers think again. That's the ultimate goal. That concludes my portion of STS with DSP. We're now opening it up to your questions. I hope that you found that helpful. And I'm going to tell you right now, it is majorly important that we figure out how to create leaders around us, that we don't answer everything. I've got is that Corliss? Good morning, DSP. Is that, man, my eyes are so bad. C-O-R, Corliss? Did I say that right? I want to make sure I don't butcher your name. I apologize if I did. Welcome. It is good to have you here. What questions do you all have for me? Now, there's about a 15-second delay. I talk about this every week. I do that. Why? Because I'm trying to stretch. I'm trying to give you time to type your questions into the YouTube chat. Let my video catch up, if you will, to your comment and let it come in here. Do you guys have questions for me? Yes, here we go. We've got Ray says, I'm just listening in. Are you doing away with to-do lists? Oh, no, I'm not doing away with to-do lists. Those are very different. What I'm saying is your manager's problems shouldn't be your to-do list. Meaning the major thing on your to-do list is your manager put all their names on there. Because every one of the problems they have, every one of the challenges, everything they've got to do that they're unsure of how to do is now yours. Now, I'm going to tell you, I don't know when you came on to the live, I've just redone my website. I want you to go to davidscottpeters.com. I want you to scroll all the way down to the work transfer framework. This is what we use in our coaching program. If you truly want something to be transferred, the work to be transferred, before we can protect the standard, before we can make sure a system sticks, it's got to be clear. So everything we're talking about here right now with our managers not knowing is there is an assessment, did I train them? Right now, I was just focusing on one piece, and that is getting them to make decisions. And so the to-do list is still got to be there. But we start with clarity, and then we go to training, where we truly sit there and transfer not only the information, but the behavior. We change behavior. And from there, we've got to make sure that we've got somebody assigned who owns it. We've got to have a cadence where we're checking it, right? We've got to do all these things. Go to that site and I'll walk you through. What I'm talking about today is, technically, there's something wrong in those 7 things, if not multiple things have been left off. They're not capable of making a certain decision. It is probably a training decision. But to start, all I want you to do is take your managers off your to-do list, meaning all their problems, and start to get them to think by asking, what would you do? Why would you do it that way? Coaching them, getting them to stop immediately coming to you as the Google of the restaurant. So hopefully that adds clarity. Kim is in the house. Super helpful. That's exactly what we need to work on. Thank you, Kim. It is wonderful. Kim, are we ever going to work with you? Just curious. No, I'm happy to have you here on Fridays. Happy to have you on the YouTube channel. Happy to have you listen to podcasts, read the book, and so on. I hope you'll be one of the first people to buy my new book. I'm hoping Protect the Standard, assuming that title survives the editor. I'm going to be getting probably the book to the final edit process on Monday is my goal. And then, believe it or not, even though I'm self-publishing, we're probably looking at earliest I can get to is December. My goal is to have advanced copies for my workshop December 1st through the 3rd. And that's a brand new workshop which is going to walk through protecting the standard, how we do the work transfer framework, adding systems in place, but really sending you home with, well, how you're going to start and actually get managers to do the work, actually get the change to stick. We're really excited about the new workshop. Ray says, love that. Fantastic. I'm glad we're on the same page. Big Mike says, great thoughts as always. Looking forward to the new book. Me too. I had about 8 people as advanced readers of the book. Got some incredible feedback, but I'm going to tell you overall, the feedback was this is exactly what we need. So again, as Restaurant Prosperity Formula is the formula on freedom from your restaurant, the financial freedom you deserve, meaning what systems do I put in place? How do I put an implementer in place? How do I get this done? There's still a gap because a part of it is now you can get excitable and announce the systems and say, here's what we're going to do, and nobody gets it done. It drifts back to the old way we do things. This next book is what, Mike, you've been seeing on the coaching calls recently, is truly exploding, expanding on the work transfer framework. In fact, I will tell you, while I did that Protect the Standard webinar for our members, and we've now put that in the new site, for those of you who are not members, coming up in a few weeks, make sure you're opted into my email list because we're going to be doing a Protect the Standard webinar free for non-members. And that's going to come up here in just a few weeks. So make sure I'll announce it here as soon as I have everything solidified. We have a date. Don't get me wrong, I've got a date, but I'm not going to share it just in case it changes. So things happen. Okay, Mike says, question is about the balance of responsibility and learning from making decisions/mistakes and guardrails so they don't burn down the place. So in my presentation portion of today, one of the things I glaze through, because I'm trying to do things in 15, 20-minute chunks, is that we have to give our managers not only the responsibility to do their job, but the authority to do their job. And those are not the same thing. You cannot put somebody responsible to controlling labor, but they can't send people home. You can't have somebody responsible for labor and they can't hire fire. You can't have somebody responsible for food costs, but they can't make a purchasing decision. They can't hold somebody accountable for not using the waste tracker or the key item tracker. So we put the guardrails in and we tell people what they can and cannot do. So in my presentation portion of today, I said, hey, you've got to tell your manager what decisions they can make on their own, what decisions based on how we do things need to be brought to my attention, and so on. So Mike, your guardrails are setting up your managers for things that they can and cannot do on their own. When do you need to be involved? What does it have to do with? Does it have to do with budgeting? Like, so for instance, if the air conditioner, if you had a rooftop air conditioner, falls through the roof, and a manager brings you that problem, their right to do so, that is not in their scope and authority. They don't have the authority to go find the insurance company, make an insurance claim, accept the insurance claim, find the contractor, contract them, sign a check, and pay for it. No. Can't do it. That's yours. An employee shows up late. Protect the standard. Write the person up. Coach them. Go through the policy. Right? An order comes in and we got shorted a product. Do I need to find you? Frickin' go fix it. Go find 3 solutions. Now, if it's something that's out of the ordinary, not in the scope of what you're allowed to do, like I would have to get in my car and drive 3 hours to go pick up the product, I'm coming to ask you. Because the guardrails are, does it take you out of the restaurant? So think about it this way. All the things that we do, we actually have to train our managers what's in their scope of authority. So great question, really great question. Mike also says, if you need any more feedback, I'm available. My new book is going to publish in the next few weeks as well. I One, thank you for the offer. We're good. I did one round of my reader feedback. In the process of making all my edits now that go to the editor. And congratulations on your new book. What is it about? Let me know, or you can wait and tell me on our group coaching call. Mike says, great clarification. Love it. Excellent. I like when I'm clear. Sometimes I use a lot of words and we don't get the clear. How are we doing on time here? We're right at the tail end here. So let me just double check. I think for the next 4 weeks, we have a shoot the shit before I go to Worlds in Bled, Slovenia. Yes, I'm going to be rowing in Bled, Slovenia. Absolutely crazy when you think about it. So we do have a shoot the shit on the 14th. We have a shoot the shit on the 21st. And we have one on the 28th. And it looks like we'll have it all the way through September 5th. And then I'm at Worlds. So I'll try and just make it natural. And remember that we have shoot the shit every Friday until up and including September 5th. And then I'm going to be taking off to Bled, Slovenia for my race season. I appreciate each and every one of you. Again, do me a favor, a couple things I'll throw up there. If you're brand new to my channel, if you want to learn about our coaching program, make sure you scan that QR code, get on a call with Ryan James to learn about your business, tell you what we do, find out where your prime cost is and what kind of changes we can help you make. We might be right for you. We might not be. We're not right for everybody. I just like to think we are. Also, do know next week I've got a labor seminar I'm doing here in Tempe on Wednesday, and then we'll have shoot the shit on Friday. Do take a look at our new website, davidscottpeters.com. Take a look and see what really differentiates us from all the other coaches that are out there now. At this point in time, if I see people steal this message, I'm going after them because, like, you got to be original. You got to stop stealing my shit, man. I swear to goodness. Although, copying my stuff is flattery, right? With that said, you go out there, kick some ass. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you next week right here, a YouTube Live, Shoot the Shit with DSP. Peace, everybody.